You have to believe in the heart of the libido.
And speaking of, welcome back to the Dubious Book Club podcast. I'm Aubrey, one of your dubious creatures. Say hi, other dubious creature.
I had a line for this, but I forgot it. My joke, my
Well,
precious joke, gone forever.
shall we dive in?
Ha 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 ha.
We are back discussing the second half of Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Content warnings for this book as stand as mentions of past abuse, mentions of past child abuse, death, grief, mental trauma, mental illness. I'm just gonna come out and say I really, really enjoyed this book.
It's, it's fine. Good for the romance, bad if you were expecting actual sports.
It had more sports in it than some other sports romance I've read in the last year. I've read a couple that are just like, oh, the sports romance is that the main character just plays sports and we see him like talk about sports a lot. Maybe we see him play one time, but like
Eh,
the sports themselves don't actually factor into the story.
Well, it's not that the sports don't factor into the story. They definitely do. It's just more like a lot of it gets breezed over because
Yeah.
we're less interested in.
Mm.
Okay, it's like how heated rivalry, yes, it has hockey in it, but let's face it, that's not what we're here for.
Yeah, no, we're not here for the play-by-play of each game.
Yeah.
Who won, who lost. We're here for the yowie.
Yeah, exactly. We're we're here to see them bone
Exactly.
or be constantly. I'm gonna be so real. 90% of romance, good, bad, and ugly in fiction is really just edging.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just sitting there, just like trying not to scream at the protagonist, like, "Oh no, there definitely aren't feelings involved."
Definitely not.
Yeah, no, you couldn't possibly be. He couldn't possibly be chalking you like a pole cue night after night um, because, he likes you or anything.
Of course, because if we did, there wouldn't be a story. But to be fair, I think it makes sense, at least for Scarlett's character, for her to be very reticent about the talking about the feelings.
No, it makes sense. It's just,
Mm,
it's one of those tropes that
it is. And
I'm
it's overall done pretty well here because I have read other books where it's like, this makes no sense for your character as you have established it to be this just like, does he like me? It doesn't make sense here. Since there, it kind of makes sense here with everything Vanny's been through.
so what would happen to passing those little notes that said, "Do you want to pull my pork? Also, do you like me? Check yes or no."
I don't know. That's a great question. But yeah,
All right.
we pretty
Dubious
much pick up
creatures asking the real questions.
the real questions. Where we left off, we pick up pretty much right after the first like bold sex scene, like the next morning.
And the Swedish Empire has lain waste. She has
Good for
been
them.
besieged and sacked. Yeah.
Yeah. At least the
Although
Swedes chose a side.
in all honesty, there's a lot more sex scenes from this point forward, but it's not.
It's not overwhelming.
I don't know. Yeah, it's really hot and heavy and whatever, but apart from a few kind of semi-public locations, it's not really that kinky. It's a lot of
Yeah, it gets more into the power exchange than anything else. We don't have like scenes of Scarlet being tied up. We really like lean into the power exchange.
Yeah, honestly, given Vandy's whole shtick, there are times where like, no, this doesn't remind me of anyone.
No, not at
This
all.
doesn't remind me of anyone.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, another thing is that from this point forward, I think the pace accelerates a lot.
Yeah.
We and I don't necessarily know if that's to the book's benefit. Like the last
Mm.
200-ish pages where a lot happens.
The whole book takes
Uh,
place over the course of about a year, or at least a
I know
school
the book.
year.
I know the book takes place over a year. It's just more that we, the audience POV, have
Mm.
mostly been in the dark, forbidden realm of Stanford for,
Mm.
and then
Mhm.
in the latter half of the book, we jump around a lot. That's mostly because
Yeah.
stuff like NCAA and fucking Olympics are happening, and like both Mandy and Lucas are not only working on their not only are they trying to get their MDs, but they're also going to fucking. There's a lot of it jumps around to a lot of locations, both in the U.S. and internationally. And again, it's like there's a whole chapter that takes place in Amsterdam, but you never know it because the only part that really tells you you're in Amsterdam is a bit of a description from Vandy. I'm not saying we needed an exhaustive breakdown of the city of Amsterdam, just more like, oh, I guess we're in Amsterdam.
Yeah, no, like more clarification, more, just sort of. There are a few times where it feels like scenes are rushed, but that does happen sometimes. Book is not perfect, but a lot of things are getting set up. At one of the meets that Vandy goes to, she meets an old friend, quote unquote, of Penelope's.
Yeah, Cassia is well, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she and although I again because of the rush pacing of the book, we don't really learn much of that relationship. We just get told about that relationship by Penelope. And
Mm.
again, it's like, okay, I mean, I feel like this would have been more impactful if it had been happening over the course of the book. Whereas, I mean, I get it
If
because,
this had been like introduced earlier, yeah, I understand.
I mean, again, I get it. The reason why Cassie is introduced at all is because, like, the U.S. diving team is not Stanford only. Obviously there are other people competing from other.
Mm.
The book gets into a lot of the minutia of competitive sports, which I think whether or not you think that's a plus entirely depends on how much you enjoy that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No, that's fair. I
Um,
liked it in terms of the book because in the book it feels like it's something that Vandy is passionate about. So it's easy for me to become passionate about it as well because the main character is passionate about it. That's just how I am as a reader.
yeah, it's not again, it's like it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. I mean, like again, I
Mhm.
appreciate that clearly the author did their homework. It's just
You don't care.
the the magnitude of fucks not given is quite frankly is a field of STEM study in of itself. I don't look. I don't come over to your house and talk about the minutia of vampire. Okay,
Technically, you
only
do.
that Yes, but only to paying customers. The
And every
safe
Wednesday.
word is, I think you know what the safe word is.
Mhm. Yeah. But
Starts
yeah,
with
no.
good and ends with girl. But
But
yeah, so
yeah,
Cassia, it, she's
is
here and
she's
she's
here.
making everyone's problem.
Yeah, I initially thought that this was like it was going to be more of a twist of like Penn ended up like being not a good person because it is the Chekhov's gun, and I feel like it was used pretty well. Of because yeah, once we get to things that happen later on, I was like, okay, are we going full like she is not a good person and very selfish, or are we where are we going with this?
I don't know. It's just such a fucking soap opera move, you know? And I'm
To be
what it
like, this is a
is.
soap opera. It is
Yeah,
100%.
I
But the book is
know. I
also a
mean,
soap opera, so it
yes, I'm
fits.
aware. I'm aware of the contradiction. Like it's like, my God, this cake has chocolate in it.
It's chocolate cake. It's chocolate in it.
Ah,
How dare it?
disgusting. How fucking dare it? How fucking dare you include chocolate in my chocolate cake? Again, it's such a very it I guess the reason why it doesn't really seem like as impactful as it is because you're coming in at the 11th hour with this, and Penn vacillates Penelope, Lucas's ex, just so for everyone keeping score, except the rest of the school doesn't know about their breakup quite yet, and because Lucas is Sweden's golden porpoise, those are, I'm quoting the book there. I wish I'd come up with that joke. Um, everybody is in that way that only college students can be very invested in his love life for some fucking reason. Um,
College.
it's like they haven't broken up yet. So there's this love triangle thing going on. And Penn, again, she vacillates between being the supportive best friend and the absolute hot mess. But that's like again, that's just most college students, especially college students who take on a frankly sociopathic amount of workload while doing competitive sports.
Yeah.
It's tropes. It's tropes the whole way down. And again, I don't think it's bad. I don't care.
No, it's fair. But things happen like uh Lucas's roommates learn that they do learn that Lucas and Penn broke up because, they catch Vandy doing the walk of shame.
Surprised she could walk given the past. Yeah, I will say the sex is, I mean, especially just given the look, there are some very vivid descriptions of like full on
Mhm.
penetration. Okay. And at a certain point, I'm like, okay, girl, he is. Girl, he is stretching out your hip flexors internally. All right. You may want to check back into PT after this. I believe we mentioned the girth of the Swedes' kniving pole um, in the
Yeah,
previous. Yeah, so
but he's running around with
uh,
the third leg.
how does that not slow him down during swim meets?
It's like a shark.
That that's what does he do? Exclusively backstroke?
Who knows?
Either way, that speedo's working overtime.
It really
Yes,
is.
this is the kind of highbrow humor you tune in for. And
I
anyway,
got
yeah, Luke. I don't know. Lucas is I like Lucas. I do. I think it's a good
He's a
example of
good
like a
dude.
green flag romance. I just don't think he's to be blunt, I don't think he has as much going on uh development wise as Vandy does, or
Yeah.
hell even Penelope does.
Yeah, he is not on screen, quote unquote, as much as like Vandy or Penelope are, and I would have actually loved to have like a few chapters that are from his perspective because we had a chapter at the end that's from his perspective. I would have actually loved like just a couple of chapters throughout the book from his perspective. It you know doesn't have to be anything big, but I feel like that would have like really like helped develop Lucas as a character a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's realistic that he's not around much because he's an Olympic gold medalist.
Mm-hmm.
So of course he's going to be like he's going to be, off competing a lot.
And he's also a med student.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that. I do like that the relationship between Lucas and Vandy is one that isn't constantly threatened by distance.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, prior to what Hollywood has taught us. It is fully possible to maintain a relationship even when you're both busy as all hell. Uh,
Really, it's
yeah, the key is quality time when you're both in the same zip code, and that can look like a lot of things. It doesn't have to be the sort of sex that makes you look like a topographical map of Utah afterwards. Um,
that's just them.
that's just them. Uh, like you don't need to be laying waste to by the great Northern Dominion, but it clearly it helps. Although I will say they don't really do much more than like he they don't really do much more than like again just like power fantasy stuff. It's not
Mm.
they don't exactly get out the chains and whips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that kinky. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Penn might have oversold it.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of that stuff that is like super kinky requires a lot more setup and dedicated space,
Yeah,
which they
I
seem to have
know.
neither.
Well, yes, because both of them are STEM majors. I'm surprised they have time to rub one out on occasion.
They find plenty of time for that.
Yeah, I'm mostly shocked at the level of free time they managed to find to bone. Like, don't you have a dissertation?
No, apparently not.
Apparently not. Yeah, and again, it's like okay, like the author clearly knows the actual minutia of what she's talking about. It's just
Mhm.
like at a certain point, are you reading this for the sexual fantasy? Are you reading this for the romance? I don't know necessarily if it stands on its own as like a sports book,
I'm certainly not
but
reading it for the sports or the sports. I'm reading it for the like the romance and the writing and all of that.
here's I'm gonna say this for the background. No one gives a fuck about diving.
I mean, the book certainly tried to make me care about diving.
Yeah, I mean, it is technically a water sport.
Mhm.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot that goes on in this sort of like the second half of this book. It's the confrontation with Penelope's bullies and like Vandy slowly realizing like how little Penelope actually knows about Lucas, despite the fact that they dated for such a long period of time.
And it's again, it's good. I'm torn. I'm torn on Penelope.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
I don't think she's a badly written character. It's just more like she has to fulfill a lot of tropes. She has to
Yeah,
be simultaneously the other woman and the best friend and the third wheel, honestly.
yeah, there's a little bit of that, and I did actually wonder if there was going to be that third act, like heel turn of Penelope,
There
because
is
there
kind of,
is kind of, but
but
I thought it like I didn't think there would be like a good resolution to it. Like, as in they work their shit out, which I like that they work their shit out because it's not something you see often in books. But there's also part of me that's just a little dramatic gremlin that's just like, no, I want to see everything burn.
well, I think the main reason is that like it resolves itself kind of off screen. Um,
Mhm.
because again, it's more realistic that way, in reality, prior to what despite what high school might have told you, most people don't carry generational grudges about who fucked whom
Yeah.
behind the bleachers in the seventh grade. Seventh grade, Jesus. Okay, ignore that last one.
That almost sounds
Uh,
like you're speaking from personal experience.
no, okay. Want to say anybody I fucked behind the bleachers, we were both consenting adults at the time. I want to make that absolutely clear.
It has been made clear for the record.
Yeah. Seventh grade. God, you're too young to know what fucking means in seventh grade. Ignore me. I'm tired. Good.
But yeah, no, I do enjoy there was part of me was like, I haven't read all of Ali's books. I'm like, are you doing this so you can set up and use Penelope as protagonist of a different book? Because she has done that before, Ali Hazelwood.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. This is my first Allie
Mm,
Hazelwood. I just and again I know usually in this podcast we tend to like go through books sequentially. We tend to go like, and the reason why we're not doing that is because there's not a lot to talk about. It mostly follows the pattern of these two chuckle fucks getting together,
mm.
having ludicrous amounts of sex, refusing to talk about their feelings afterward. Getting involved in the minutia of their athletic and academic careers, and then kind of rinse and repeat until the book is over.
Yeah,
Occasionally,
there
you get a
mm,
different backdrop of the like okay, now they're in, but like it happens so suddenly sometimes. Like okay, now they're in Europe. Oh no, they're not in Europe. Oh now she's back home in St. Louis.
mm. And there's something to be said about how like that captures just how hectic life can be, especially when you're in college and doing all of these things, where it's just suddenly you kind of feel like you're being shuttled from one thing to another with no actual time to break for a break. That also may just be me reading more into it.
Yeah, again, I'm torn. Like, is it good writing because it is a realistic? It is the first romance book in history that actually captures the accuracy of the college experience, or is that a detriment to the fantasy of it all?
Who knows? There overall, I I really enjoyed the book. It is the fourth Ali Hazelwood book that I have read, and I would put it just below Bride. I think Bride is my favorite, but it simply is because it's uh, urban fantasy and vampires and werewolves.
No, I hate it when books are good because then I have so few
We,
things to bitterly complain about, and you know
yeah,
me. You take away my pedantic need to expose every little cloying detail to the burning light of my entirely personal opinions, which, as we
yeah,
know, are objectively correct in all contexts because
yeah.
I have a microphone.
Exactly.
Uh,
This is the exact opposite of last month
exactly.
where we had
I
so
can't
much to
just.
complain about. But this time it's just
I
like, yeah, no, it's just a good book. It's like
yeah,
a
I
good
can't.
solid book.
Yeah, I do you know how frustrating it is to not just be able to say freaky snake sex and then hit the canned laughter button? Come on, Allie Hazelwood. Give me some rope with which to tie up my partner.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So
I did actually think like there was going to be the reappearance of Vandy's father too, because it's like it's set up before like the NCAA final, and I was like, are we going to get this? But then I'm like,
we
if he
did.
had shown,
I was we did get the return of Josh.
do you get the return of Josh?
Yeah, we did get the return of Josh. And we
Mm,
actually find out that Josh. Turns out a lot happened before
yeah,
Vandy very nearly uh tore her own head off trying to perform that dive.
yeah.
And Josh apparently broke up with.
Broke up with Vandy like the day of, like 12 hours before like the NCAA final.
Yeah,
It's just like a dick move.
yeah, I don't know, Josh. The more I learn about Josh, I'm just like, okay, I get it. He's a nice guy,
Yeah.
which
I
is to
did
say,
kind of like that Penelope, like not Penelope, Vandy, actually like kind of like was like, did you ever actually care about me? Because if you did, you probably shouldn't have done that. And, and you never like tried to
yeah,
check on me even after you heard I was injured.
yeah. The more I learn about Josh, the more I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm I know the book. They don't really focus much on him from that point forward because again, it's not the point. You know, the
Mhm.
book knows where its priorities are, but it's like, yeah, but we've all known a Josh or two in our time.
Yeah, I've dated several.
Yeah, like you might wonder where the nice guy trope comes from. And yes, we're talking about you specifically, the viewer. This is a personal condemnation of you and your habits, because as we all know, you're the only real person here. Um, but it comes from a fact that when you are a dude, uh, a young dude who thinks that all of their problems will somehow be erased when they can finally brag to all their other dudes that they have a girlfriend, you start treating it less like a relationship and more like your fun friend who you occasionally have sex with. You have unintentionally situationshiped yourself, and as a result, anything that falls outside of the parameters of that very specific fantasy that you've developed, uh, let's just say I'm not surprised that he wasn't into doing the hot and heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Because maybe he actually is into the hot and heavy stuff. We don't know. I suspect it's more about him just maintaining the fact that like he gets to be with the hot girl and on the swim team more than anything else. And like it's unfortunate and it's not, but it's also like when you're at a certain age, you don't know how to do relationships. There's actually a tragic amount of actual advice out there for just like people in general for when you're
Yeah.
a young person and you want to be with another young person and all you've really got to go on is probably some childhood trauma and some very unhelpful smutty books.
Go find a Lucas.
Yeah, I don't know. Lucases I think are hard to come by. I don't know.
They really are.
Maybe it's a Swedish thing. I don't know. Maybe they just pop out into the world as fully actualized beings. But I don't know. Finding a dude like a proper man like that is difficult because it requires a level of self-confidence that I just don't know. Honestly, the most unrealistic thing about Lucas is that I don't know if he's insecure enough to be a 21st century gentleman.
I mean, that's fair.
He just I don't necessarily think he has all his shit figured out, but I think in terms of like the most pertinent shit, he's a pretty fucking actualized human being, and it's depressing how rare of a quality that is.
It really is. I just stare at my dating life in my 20s.
Like your dating life in your 20s has to be a nightmare because that way you kind of have to teach yourself what to look out for and what is and is not
Mm.
doable for you or who is and isn't doable for you and a bunch of other things. It's just that, since none of us have a personal life anymore, everybody, including depending on how active you are on certain websites, is going to decide that they are experts on your relationship.
Yeah.
I wish there were more green flag people out there. I do believe they exist, but
Yeah.
they're
No,
not
they
they're
certainly
not
do.
Bigfoot. Well, I mean, depending on how tall they are, they might be, but that's neither here nor there.
And
I'm really not one to give people relationship advice. My dating life prior to getting married was can best be summarized as a string of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket.
mm, yeah,
The
I mean,
horrifying connotations
I
that
understand.
entails.
Until Adam and I got together, it was a fucking nightmare. Like there were a few like decent relationships, but the entire the majority of my 20s, it was just like I just want to go back and shake myself and just being don't do it.
Good.
He's hot, but don't do it.
We need to teach people how to we need to teach people how to fucking like flirt again.
We kind of really do.
Yeah, like nobody knows how to. I'll be the first to say that don't understand I don't understand Homo sapiens, man. But even I'm like, a lot of this, it feels like your options are either, in terms of like getting past the first couple of emotional barriers, either rom com or straight up porn.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know what I mean? You either fuck your way to something passing for a Instagrammable relationship, or I don't know. I think when I just stopped putting so much pressure on myself to have the sex, things got easier.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
Uh, I it is so hilarious because when I got together, it was our first date didn't happen because my appendix tried to kill me. And I just text him
Yeah.
from the emergency room being like, hey, I can't make our date because my current body is currently trying to kill me. I will and then he actually like I have had times where it's like I got sick or something and then just insta block or whatever, or they just unmatch. And it's just like, yeah, I can't make the date. And it was the first time where it was like, oh, he's not running away because I couldn't make the date. Okay. And then yeah, it was a few weeks later where we actually got to have an actual date. And we just kind of just spent a lot of time together. And then our leases were up at roughly the same time. So we're just like, do we want to try this? And then 4 months after we moved in together, COVID happened.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes, isn't it? Like, it's not about compatibility or sexual hangups. It's like, hey, man, I need a fucking roommate. I'm gonna be so real with you. I need an ancillary income. So you're cute and I like your vibe. You wanna maybe split a lease with me?
Idea.
Like people don't approach you from across the room looking for threesomes unless that threesome involves a 2 bedroom apartment.
Yeah, exactly. We saw you across the room and like your vibe. Do you want to split a 2 bedroom apartment with us?
Yeah. Just yeah, I moved in with Alex literally because she was like, "Hey, so I'm moving into a new apartment. Do you want to be my backup income?" Uh, God, I don't like how I don't like how that has become a thing, but I understand why it has become a thing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Also, might I just say the most unrealistic thing about Vandy and Lucas's relationship is that they both end up as they both end up at the end of the book. Yeah, they end up together. Of course, they fucking end up together. Look at these two
Mhm.
absolute fucking specimens. What, you thought we weren't going to jam them together like Barbie dolls? No, we're gonna fast forward a couple of years to the halcyon year of 2030. I don't know, when everything's fine now and they both have MDs and presumably they have the kind of double income from that where they can actually own real estate, and that right there, that's where my suspension of disbelief was shot was shot and dragged into a ditch because mostly just how dare they
How dare?
at
How
the
so
end.
very dare
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, at the end of it all, how dare they be able to afford things? I had to move to another fucking hemisphere to afford things, and I guess they just
Look, those gold medals are worth money.
not that much money. I mean, like, yeah,
That's
I get
fair.
it. They're both working like horrifying shifts because being, medical practitioners in this day and age. But like, still, it help me. I'm jealous of the economic status of fictional people.
The fucking mood.
Uh, the sexiest thing about them in that moment was like, oh God, I bet they don't. I bet they have a savings account.
Yeah, they probably do.
Oh man.
I bet they can afford to go on a vacation.
Oh man. Yeah, that's just It should have been me. Uh,
But yeah, no, that is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I'm going to be probably going through some of her other books, and I need to read the sequel to Bride. I haven't done that yet, but also my brain is
yeah,
like reread Bride because that one was good.
yeah. Final verdict. Deep End is a perfectly serviceable romance novel. I think whether or not you will enjoy it depends entirely on how much you enjoy that sort of thing.
Yeah, it is a romance novel. Don't go in
It
expecting like a full detail on how the art of diving works, or anything else. It is a romance novel where two people like to spend a lot of time in the water, and enjoy power exchange,
yeah. Look, he's just helping her with her lung capacity, all right?
among other things.
Among other things.
Making sure she gets real stretched out.
Pliant. Well tenderized, even.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd say like solid 4 out of 5, easy.
Yeah. I give it a 5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed the book for what it was and just had a good time with it.
So in short, if you like a fairly a well-written and surprisingly detail-oriented romance, or just
Mhm.
really like fantasizing about um statuesque European men absolutely
Yes.
porking your brains out,
Yes.
you'll probably enjoy this book.
Yeah. And it said before, it's kind of nice just to because I've also read a lot of romance. There is room for like romance with like dark romance where you're like actively like, yeah, he's a red flag, but I fucking love him. But it's also just nice. Just feel like he's a good being. He's a good person. He doesn't need to go through a lot of therapy to be a tolerable human being outside of a book.
Sorry, the cat just decided to drink the pan liquid.
Of course.
uh, Sheol, not the mystery juice Sheol.
It's not going to be nearly as fun as you think it will be.
No, no, not the forbidden chalice. Sorry, just I keep my door open to my office during these
Mm.
recordings because it gives me a direct eye line of the kitchen because the little fucker loves to go exploring while he knows I'm engaged in something else.
That is
Anyway,
generally how cats go.
yeah. Anyway, so next time it's my birthday.
Yes, it is.
It's my
Both you and Misfit
birthday.
have birthdays in August, so
Too bad it's mine
oh,
first.
it's true. What are we going to read?
Yeah, I invoke the sacred right of dibs.
Yeah.
So next week we are going to be doing a complete heel turn. Because fuck you, it's my birthday.
Mhm.
Into something that is neither vampire nor romance related. We're going to be reading Red Rising by Pierce Brown, which is one of my favorite sci-fi series and one of the absolute worst books in the entire franchise. Because
Well, certainly it'll be interesting.
yeah, I'll be so real with you. I adore this. I adore this fucking space opera that he has created, but I do not like the first book. I think it's the weakest one in the series. So naturally, I'm going to force everybody else to read it.
Of course. And we will be going through a bit of a format change going forward. There will only be one episode a month where we will discuss the entire book rather than two. So, yeah, join us next time as we dive into Red Rising. This should be interesting. It has been on my list for a while, and now I've had an excuse to read it.
Yeah, I swear it's not just Hunger Games in space. It gets better later. The problem is it also has big first book energy.
That's always what I've heard about the book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I you'll see.
Yeah, no, I look forward to uh, discussing it. I have been on a bit of a sci-fi kick recently as well, so this will play into it as I write some upcoming stuff I'm going to run.
Yeah, it's my favorite kind of sci-fi, which is to say, fuck you, it's in space.
Yeah,
Objectively the best kind of sci-fi because I don't care how it works.
this will be a great
Yeah.
counterpoint to the fact that I'm slowly going through the Expanse books.
Yeah. Look, it's my sci-fi. I choose how hard it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, you heard me.
you
But
gotta
until
clip
next
that.
time, yeah, I know you're going to clip that. I can hear you in the background skittering around the editing cavern.
Yeah, it's my home. But yes, we'll see everybody next time.
Yep.